Alright, this evening we're going to do a YouTube video on how to use your Cricut markers to make some really cool Halloween decorations and only use one color of paper. My son Brian is 10 years old and he is helping me video today, and this is our very first instructional video, so bear with us because we're not really sure how it's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. This instructional video starts with the premise that you understand how to use your Cricut expression and that you understand how to use the Gypsy and the layering feature of the Gypsy. What we're cutting out right now is a ghost, and this is from the Mini Monsters cartridge. I'm going to hold this up, hopefully Brian can show you the picture on there. And you need a layer that has the background, so in this case this is the background of the ghost, and then you need a separate layer that has the actual detail of the ghost. So in this case, it's going to be an outline of the ghost, his eyes, and his smiley face. Now, to have success with the Cricut markers, it's important to cut first and then write. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut the ghost outline, and I just have the standard Cricut mat with a 12 by 12 sheet of white cardstock, and we're just going to insert that in the Cricut machine, and we're going to go ahead and push the cut button on the Gypsy. We're going to load the mat, and then we're going to push the cut button, the OK button, and that's going to cut the ghost outline. And then before we add the ghost's facial features, we're going to change to a Cricut black marker. Now the important thing is when you're done cutting the shape, you do not touch the carriage or don't move the carriage on the Cricut machine. You have to leave it where it is, where it stops. So when it's done cutting this ghost, which it's done right now, I have a couple of options on my Gypsy. They are unload mat and return to design. I want to return to design. I do not want to unload my mat. Then I'm going to select my layer where my ghost's facial features are, and I'm going to replace my Cricut blade with my Cricut marker. Now a trick to this is to simply take a sticky note and lay it underneath the blade housing. The reason I do this is so I don't inadvertently write all over my piece of paper with the Cricut marker. So I lay that down, I unscrew the blade housing, pull out my blade and set it aside. Make sure your sticky notes under there good. Then I take the cap off of the Cricut marker. I place the Cricut marker in the carriage, close it, tighten it. Okay, at this point I remove my sticky note. I pick up my Gypsy and I tell my Gypsy to cut this layer. I simply push cut, cut again, and the OK button. And now the Gypsy is going to take the marker and draw the facial features onto my ghost cutout. As you're probably aware, these markers are available in lots of different colors. I find the one I use the most is the black, but they do come in color sets and are available online, Walmart, eBay, etc. Now again, one of the important things we're going to need to do before we pull our drawing out is I always go ahead and put my sticky note back and I remove my marker. You'd probably be okay unloading it with the marker still in there. I just don't like to take a chance, so I go ahead and remove my marker at this point. I replace my blade housing since I always cut first and then use the marker. And I always have such a hard time getting this thing back in there. Okay, replace the blade housing. Then we go over to our Gypsy and we simply unload our mat. Obviously take off our sticky note, and what we're left with is a Halloween ghost that we can now put up.